So also, what's up YouTube? My name is Taiah and welcome to my channel. So I've been gone from YouTube for like over a year. I took a little hiatus because life got real crazy, but I'm back and I'm here to stay, so hopefully I can get this channel going. I know it's not a big deal that I took a break because I'm not a huge channel, but whatever. Anyway. So I figured I would do kind of like a sit-down video today where I just talk about things that I have learned throughout life and what the biggest like lessons were. So I'm 20 years old, I've got 2 decades under my belt, I know what I'm talking about, okay? I think I'll probably have top five, yeah, we'll do top 5 life lessons I've learned thus far. And I hope that this video, you know, helps people or gives you more insight on life, or maybe even helps you look at situations different ways. But yeah, I just wanted to do this advice for y'all and for myself, and I hope you guys love it. I hope you love it. So let's get into it. A lot of these life lessons I've learned actually within the past year of being gone. A lot has happened, which is for a different video, but a lot's happened and I've learned a lot, been able to apply certain lessons to my life and kind of figure out why my mind thinks the way it does, why certain things affect me the way they do, and why they might be affecting other people as well. That is kind of what this is going to be about. Okay, so number 1, the first piece of advice I would like to share is that it's really important to know your own feelings. You want to know what makes you happy, you want to know what makes you sad, what makes you angry, because if you don't acknowledge the feelings you get and you kind of, excuse me, you kind of like shove feelings to the back of your head like, oh, I can't deal with this right now, it's just going to cause them to resurface later on in life and make them even harder to get over. So, for example, if I know that people talking about me behind my back is something that makes me feel really anxious and upset, I need to acknowledge that, figure out why it makes me upset, what's triggering those emotions, and then deal with it accordingly. Because if you just keep ignoring, you know, your trauma or sad things or things that make you angry, it's only going to get worse. I'm not saying you should just get over it, like think about it, get over it. I mean, it's really hard to get over a lot of things that happen to you in life, but definitely acknowledge that it's there and that this makes you feel angry or this makes you feel happy. That way you're able to know yourself better and deal with those emotions better as well. Remember, you can't heal if you act like you're not hurt. Lesson number 2, rekindling old friendships and relationships can really damage your soul. And I say this because if I have a really toxic friend, or old friend for example, and I, you know, cut them out of my life because they weren't good for me anymore, they were making me more miserable than happy, I'm probably would suggest, you know, not going back to that friend and trying to make it work again, because it's nice to, you know, be nice to people still, let them, like, send them love, you know, things like that, but you shouldn't, you know, rekindle those relationships because it's only going to make you feel worse. You don't have to take your love away from them, and it's okay to miss them, but don't ever forget why they're not in your life anymore. You know, don't forget why they hurt you, because obviously they did something big enough for you to push them away. Like, your soul rejected them and you knew that they weren't good for you anymore. So always keep that in mind before you try to make up with somebody. You know, you can miss someone and feel bad that they're not in your life, but that doesn't mean go allow them back in, because most of the time they're just going to do whatever they did again. And they're going to think it's okay because you forgave them and you let them back in. I'm not saying not to forgive people, okay, because it's good to forgive people even if they don't apologize, for your own sake, you know. But yeah, making old relationships and friendships work again isn't always the best idea. You will be happiest when you're being yourself. And I know everybody probably tells you that, but it's so true. You will be happier being yourself, because if you're not being yourself, you can kind of lose who you are. And like, for example, say that I'm in school and there's a bunch of like popular girls and we don't really have the same personality. Say that their minds are a little different than mine, and I know that, but I'm like kind of changing myself so I can fit in with them, fit in with more people. Don't do that. Don't do that, because 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna end up losing who you actually are, forgetting what makes you happy, forgetting what brings you joys in life, you know? And then it can be hard to come back from, hard to remember like who you are and who society has taught you to be. The right people will come into your life if you put the right energy out. And being yourself will attract the right people to you. If you're being yourself and putting that energy out into the universe, it's going to come back to you in the form of people, in the form of opportunity. Just always be yourself, because you're going to be much happier. And tying in with this, don't worry about what people think. I know it's easier said than done, but the less you care, the happier you'll be. And that's on period. Number 4, and this is a super important one, okay? Feelings aren't facts. Just because you feel a certain way about something doesn't mean it's true. So just because I feel like I'm gonna have no friends, you know, when I go to college, I'm not gonna make any friends. Just because I feel that way doesn't mean it's true. That doesn't mean I'm gonna have no friends in college. Keep in mind the energy you put out is what you attract, but feelings are not facts, okay? Just because you feel like someone's mad at you doesn't mean they are. Anxiety causes us to believe everything we feel, and we shouldn't. So it's important to, you know, just take a step back and be like, okay, I feel this way, but do I have any other proof besides that to prove that this is actually happening? I overthink a lot, and it'll be usually negative things, and to kind of calm myself down, I'm like, okay, just because I feel this way doesn't mean it's true. Just because I feel like I'm a bad person doesn't mean I'm really a bad person. And I just take some deep breaths, because breathing literally controls anxiety better than anything else. That's what I found out. Just take some deep breaths, slow your heart rate down, just relax your body, and you'll be okay. Number 5, and I think I have a 6th one actually, but it's just a short one. But anyway, this is number 5, and I cannot think of a better life lesson that I've learned if it's not this one. So number 5, if something isn't for you, watch how your soul like literally rejects it. Like people, places, things, anything. You, in the back of your mind, it's also like your conscience telling you like this isn't right, you know, listen to it. Or say you're in a relationship with someone and you low-key have this feeling like, I don't know if this person's for me, but I'm just gonna see how it goes, you know, test the waters. Don't ignore that feeling, because that could be your intuition and your soul telling you like, hey, this is not for me. And it's okay if things aren't for you and you thought they would be. It's okay if you're not who you thought you were going to turn out to be. You know, always listen to your intuition, and don't confuse it though with your trauma misleading you. There's a difference between your trauma misleading you and then your intuition guiding you. It's usually, I can tell the difference because like trauma misleading me will feel scary and anxious, whereas my intuition, I'm like, I know that this is right. You know, I can feel that this is not for me, or I can feel that this is really for me. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense, because if not, I'll have to re-explain it some other time. Not today though. Okay, I said I had a 6th piece of advice. It's just a little short one, but it's just a quick reminder that you're not on a timeline. Life has no timeline, okay? You don't have to go to college after high school. You don't have to, and if you do go to college, you don't have to graduate by 22. You don't have to graduate by 24. Like, you could literally graduate when you're 30. You know, there's no timeline. Just because somebody else is doing it a certain way doesn't mean you have to, okay? You're in charge of your own life. You make your own decisions. Do what's going to make you happy. Do what your soul, just do what's going to set your soul on fire, okay? For real. And just know that you're on a different path than everyone else in the universe, okay? We're each on our own unique paths. And just remind yourself that when you feel like you're doing something wrong or you're questioning your life, you know, it's important to know. So I guess that concludes that. Those are my 5 to 6 pieces of advice that I've learned so far in my life. I mean, obviously I learned a lot more stuff, but these were the most important and the ones that I feel like I can apply to myself right now. So I hope that this helped you guys a little bit, and if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video. I'm trying to grow this channel, okay? Ooh, controlling the breathing. Bye, loves.